Have you been performing so long you don't even know who you are anymore? You've held it together, adapted, survived, but somewhere along the way, you lost your sense of self. What if your healing doesn't come from trying harder, but from rekindling that fire that got snuffed out when the world told you to hide? This coaching program is designed to help you stop patching symptoms and start rebuilding identity. You'll reconnect to your voice, your values, and your real inner strength. It's always been there. Now, I just want you to ask yourself, what would it feel like to wake up proud of who you are again? Let's find out together. Schedule your discovery call today at youradhdguy.com. Aren't you worth it? Hey, my dear friends, welcome to Don't Mind Me. I Just Have ADHD. I'm Ron, and this is a space for new beginnings, a place for thinkers, the feelers, the ones who don't quite fit the mold, but still feel deeply called to something more. Here, we explore what it's really like to live and work with ADHD in a world that wasn't built for our brains, through the beautiful, compassionate eyes of Jesus Christ. Not a version of faith rooted in shame or you've got to earn it, but one rooted in grace, purpose, and belonging, an authentic relationship, where we talk about a place we spend most of our lives at work. The pressure, the masking, the burnout, the feeling of never quite being enough. And we ask a deeper question. What if ADHD isn't a flaw to overcome, but a calling to understand? What if the very traits that make life feel harder, your sensitivity, creativity, restlessness, justice seeking, a big heart, are the same traits Christ has given you as your special gifts? This podcast is about slowing down long enough to hear that truth, about untangling productivity from worth, about finding meaning, not just metrics. And hopefully, together, we'll uncover your true purpose. Not the one the world assigned you, but the one God placed in you before you were even born. So take a deep breath. You're safe here. Now let's take the first steps on the path of discovery. Hey friends, welcome back to Don't Mind Me. I Just Have ADHD. I'm Ron. And as we step into the brand new year, I want to talk about something that quietly hijacks our joy, our relationships, and our peace, especially for the ADHD brain. It's not lack of discipline. It's not motivation. It's not willpower. It's envy. And envy doesn't always show up loud and ugly. Sometimes it sounds like, if I could just be more like them, then I'd be happy. Why does it come so easily for everyone else? What's wrong with me? That voice doesn't lead you closer to God's purpose. It pulls you into comparison, people pleasing, resentment, and eventually exhaustion. So today, let's talk about why the new year is such a battleground for envy. Why ADHD makes this even harder, and how God invites us into a different way of living. One rooted in contentment, trust, and purpose. And please stay tuned to the end because I got a special gift for you. So I'm going to talk about something a little bit different. The new year is comparison season. New goals, new bodies, new habits, new success stories flooding your feed. And ADHD brains are especially vulnerable here because we already struggle with emotional regulation, rejection sensitivity, time blindness, and the feeling of always being behind. So when we see someone else thriving, our brain doesn't say, "Oh, good for them." It says, "What's wrong with me?" But scripture names this clearly. Ecclesiastes 4:4 says, I observed that most people are motivated to success because they envy their neighbors. Mm, it hits hard. In other words, envy fuels hustle culture. Society is literally built on envy. If you don't have what they have, you're not enough. It's a lie straight from the lips of the enemy. Now, here's the definition we rarely talk about. Envy says, I must be like you in order to be happy. That's why envy and people pleasing are siblings. People pleasing says, if you approve of me, I'm safe. While envy says, if I just had your life, I'd be okay. Now, don't get it twisted. Envy isn't harmless. James 3:16 says, wherever there is envy and selfish ambition, there you will find disorder and every kind of evil. Every kind of evil. Envy hides behind bitterness, gossip, exaggeration, judgment, manipulation, workaholism, insecurity, chronic comparison, and many other things. Proverbs 14:30 puts it bluntly. Envy is like cancer in the bones. It eats you alive from the inside. It destroys relationships. It steals joy. It even fuels wars. And here's the hardest truth. Envy doesn't punish the person you resent. It punishes you. Now, if you want envy out of your life, scripture gives us some clear wisdom, not shame. Stop comparing. Comparison is foolish because you are unique. Your calling is specific and your brain is different on purpose. Remember, God doesn't make mistakes. When you compare, you always end up in one of two places: pride, I'm better than them, or envy, I'm worse off. Neither is freedom. And here's the kicker: if you knew the full cost of what someone else has, the sacrifices, the loss, the pain, you probably wouldn't want it anyways. Nobody is as cool as they appear. If we took all our problems, piled them together, and had to choose, I'm sure most of us would take back our own problems in a heartbeat. God tailor made your life, including your challenges. Rejoice in God's grace for others. This does not come naturally, and I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. Romans 12:15 says, rejoice with those who rejoice. But let's be honest, we struggle with other people's success. It's one of the hardest things. Why? Because envy whispers, if they win, I lose. But God doesn't run out of blessings. There's no limit. He doesn't bless everyone the same. He blesses according to his design. If you're only happy when good things happen to you, you're rarely going to be happy. But if you can rejoice in others' joy, you'll always have access to joy. You'll always have something to be happy about. That's why shared joy multiplies. Be like a grandparent. They celebrate everything. Now, here's something that you can do for contentment, trust in the new year. Practice gratitude daily. Paul said, I have learned to be content. Contentment is learned, not automatic. What's something that you can do to be grateful for? Come up with a gratitude list, go out for a walk and just be grateful for all that you have. Look at the abundance that you have instead of the gap. First Corinthians 4 7 through 8 says, for who do you know that really knows you, knows your heart? And even if they did, is there anything they would discover in you that you could take credit for? Isn't everything you have and everything you are sheer gifts from God? So, what's the point of all this comparing and competing? You already have all you need. You already have more access to God than you can handle. So, ask yourself, why compete when you already have what you need? Envy says, why them? Why not me? Gratitude says, why am I so blessed? Why do I have all these things, God? I'm so undeserving, but yet you give it to me. Trust God when life feels unfair. Anytime you say it's not fair, that's envy questioning God's goodness. Envy is the fever. Doubting God is the infection. God has reasons you don't see yet. Your job isn't to control the outcome, it's to trust the process and stay in your lane. Hebrews 12:1 says, run with perseverance the race set before you. Not their race, yours. None of the things we envy here will matter anyways in eternity. The only question that will echo is, how did you love and how did you serve? So as the new year begins, let this be the year you stop measuring your worth against someone else's life. Let envy die. Let comparison lose its grip. Let contentment take root. You're not behind. You're not late. You're not lacking. You're exactly where God can use you. And if you needed a reminder today, it's right here in your earbuds, reminding you that you are loved, not because of what you do, but because of who made you. And if this touched your heart, please let someone else know of the good news of Christ. And if you're someone who struggles to connect with others, maybe you hate small talk or never know how to start a conversation, I've got a gift for you. It's a short video called Master the Moment, Becoming Magnetic in Every Introduction. It's everything I wish I had when I was trying to find my voice. You can find that at youradhdguy.com. That's youradhdguy.com. Grace doesn't compete. Love doesn't envy. And God's plan for you has never required you to be someone else. So as always, subscribe and may the source be with you. God bless.